How's it going, everyone? Here with a set 9 or 9.5 One Piece deck profile for Perona. Decided to bring her back. She got some new support in the last set. Really just one card, but it's pretty cracked when you can get some things going with it. Simply put, she's a 1-drop 2K. She has the ability to, on play, look at top 5, find a Thriller Bark or a Dracu Mihawk specifically. So she also can search herself. So you can just go 1-drop, try to find something. If you don't find anything, find herself, keep it going, essentially. So just with this one card, it helps out the deck a lot. But without further ado, let me just go ahead and get into it. I'll start us off with all the 2Ks. So I am running 4 Perona. Simply put, new support, searches out Moria. Kind of self-explanatory, right? So since she can search out Mihawk, I am running 2 Mihawks now. Mihawk's more just a spice card, tech card. If you go early, say you get something like Blackbeard or Dolpher, things of those natures, and you need to go wide and try to keep up some of the pressure, you can go ahead and go Mihawk into Ryuma, kind of just helping mitigate things. You know, if they throw you off, make you go first or whatever it is. Just nice little tech card now within the deck. So I'm also running 2 Izos. Izos just searchable off the Otamas, bread and butter of the deck, of course, again. So simply put, you're dropping out your Weenie Huts, you're using Samurai, resting those Weenie Huts, drawing 2 cards, preferably good cards at that. So the deck has 12 2K counters, which is a pretty decent standard size, I would say. So besides that, I'll go into the regular just 1Ks of the deck. I am running a 1-of Hogback. Hogback just being searchable now, you can just grab them, get anything going. Say you need to grab out a Ryuma out the trash, or grab out Moria back out the trash. You know, just grabs you back anything you need, really. I'm also running 2 Helmeppos, simply put, just -3. Give anything -3 in the deck, pair that out with Ryuma, pair that out with Leader ability, just good synergy. Running 2 Hioris. Hiyori still doesn't feel too bad, doesn't feel too great either. She's just kind of there. She's just a +1 card still in the deck. You play her out, play her off of Moria, just hard player, you know, pop her, get a Ryuma and get a free draw. Or you play her, rest her off a Samurai, and then you get 3 draws out of it. So essentially that's all she is. She's just an additional plus. Main search of the deck, I guess you can say, Momonosuke. Momonosuke's gonna find half the deck for the most part, find your Ryumas, find you your 2Ks, find you basically everything else. Non-searchable targets in the deck, I'm running 2 Rosamonte blockers. I think he fits really well in the deck just because he synergizes well off of Moria. You can just simply play him out rested and still play out a 4-drop or any form of blocker and still have the protection off the Rosamonte. Or even if you go early game, rest of Rosamonte after Samurai, just hypotheticals, and you can still draw 2 and have him protect what's on field if your opponent decides to go for board. Other blockers that I'm running 2 Cerberus now. I think Doggo's pretty good. Now that he's just searchable off of the Perona, you can just keep him going. Have some more defenses. Before we was running Borsalino. Borsalino wasn't too bad, but he wasn't searchable. And we're kind of in a weird format right now where Black's not going too rampant, so you can actually afford to run Weenie Huts, which is a pretty good idea. Sabo felt weird at first just because I thought Blackbeard was going to be a problem in the deck, well, against the deck, but no one in our locals really plays Blackbeard, so we don't really run into it. Not that much of an issue, so we're trying out 4 Sabos. Not necessarily know what I could trade him out with. I think he's just good in the deck. Still a blocker, he still draws you 2, and he has that protection. So he's providing a lot for the deck, and yeah, you just can't go wrong with them. That's all the counter in the deck. Now we just go into non-counter. I'm running 2 1-ofs. I'm running a 1-of Horty Jones, just to help try to finish off the game, try to go for game. Zoro, good old beat stick. Interesting thing about Zoro, you don't really do it all the time, but what you can do is play out that Zoro. You also can just rest that Zoro off the Samurai, get you a free 2 cards, restand that Zoro if you want. Regardless, that Zoro is really versatile in the deck, helps out a lot. For the rest of the non-counters, I am running 4 Ryuma. I kind of feel like, you know, it's a given. Ryuma blows up everything in the deck. He's the main portion of the deck that you're trying to run and get situated. He's searchable off the Momo, he's searchable off the Otama, playable off of Gecko, playable off of Hiyori. He has a lot of plays beam into the deck. Also searchable off the Perona. I don't know if I already said that. 4 of Moria, you never play less. Moria's just always going to be a staple in the deck. That's pretty much it for non-counter when it comes to characters. When it comes down to events now, I run a 1 of stage. It's pretty much just a tech card, personal choice that I'm just trying to try out and see how it goes. What this essentially does, it allows you for 1 Dawn to loop, bring out a Cerberus. It plays a 2 or less rested, so you're not going to get an active blocker off of it. You're not going to go stage, play out a Cerberus and get a blocker and call it a day. But at the end of the day, it is still good, and pretty much your opponent still has to worry about it. You play out a Cerberus off the stage, they have to think, okay, do I go into it or I just give them a free blocker? So it's just things of that nature. But what really makes the card really good in this deck, it reoccurs the Perona. So it's not color locked, it's just type locked by Thrilla Bark. So you can just, for 1 Dawn, play out Perona, search out fucking anything that you need. Say that you're on your 9 Dawn or something like that, you haven't seen your Moria yet, but you know you're real close to it. You go stage, reoccur Perona, look at that top 5, boom, find your Moria, and then boom, you're back in action like nothing ever happened. So I think it's pretty nice, pretty niche. Running 2 0 cost events, trigger still goes crazy, rest 1 4 or less. There's not that much non-counter in the deck, but it's still good to help try to filtrate everything, try to give you more counter. You could probably switch it out with 2 of the things that you want, but personally this is what I'm trying out for now. Since we have so many more means of searching and so many cards are going to be played on the deck, I bumped up my ratios back up to 4 Samurais, just because there are a lot of times where I am just dropping Momos, dropping Otamas, dropping Peronas, just early, of course, as the deck's wanting to do, getting those draws in early and hopefully getting a better hand. And to finish out the deck, we're running 4 Ice Ages. Ice Age self-explanatory, helps you get your Rima in range. Basically pops any 9-drop without having to worry about anything else. But then if you run into a 10-drop, you're going to have some problems because you can't go Ice Age, leader ability rested, because it's still a 5-drop. So pretty much there are not that many cards you run into in the meta right now that are problematic when it comes to that. I guess if they're going against Buggy, you have to deal with Buggy. And if you're going against Blackbeard, you have to go against their Blackbeard blocker. Shanks, I think, honestly, Shanks is just a bad matchup for this deck. It might just be an auto-lose depending on how good they get set up. Because if they're able to pretty much just hit you with 8 drops or 7 drops back to back to back until they hit you with like 10s, it just does not feel good at all. Had a match against Buggy yesterday. Buggy wasn't too bad. I was able to keep toe-and-toe with them. I think it's pretty manageable. It depends on how well you can find your pieces, I would say. Other matchups, I really just think it depends on how well you can pilot and how well your opponent does and what's going on. The deck now is more reactive now. You have a lot more chances to interact with your opponent than you did before, and it's really just off of 1 card. So given this Perona, giving you the ability to search out a 1 of, and a lot of this is now accessible, gives you a lot more versatility. It's still not great. I enjoy it. Still a fun deck. You like to draw cards, this is definitely the deck for you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the list that I like. If you guys have any questions or any types of criticisms, opinions, whatever it is, feel free to let me know. I do and would like to make the deck a lot more viable and better. So please let me know if there's anything that you would like to try. I'll give it a try myself and see if I like it. But that's it. Thanks for watching.